So the finance minister wanted to raise VAT originally by 2 percentage points. He was eventually talked down and found money elsewhere, largely by raising the fuel levy, cutting costs, he says, but we don't have the details on that. But I want to show you exactly where the money goes to in South Africa. Here's another story. Yesterday we spoke about the wastage of billions of rand through Petro SA, pet project of Minister Gwedi Mantashe, who's also chairman of the ANC, as we double pay for all of our diesel and work with it inefficiently, because at the end of the day, it's your money and it's my money that gets wasted when this money disappears. But here's a doozy that's out there. And my Lord, the ANC have worked out that what you've got to do is, if you're going to steal money, steal it from something that's absolutely vital. In other words, a project that has to happen or people die or the country grinds to a halt. That way, the money will be found. So this one relates to the Lesotho Highlands Water Project, phase 2. Now, we know that we've got this crazy situation where most of Gauteng, especially Johannesburg and Pretoria, live nowhere near a river. Only one of the handful of cities in the world that don't have a major water source right next to it. If you go to most cities, are either on the coast or on a river. But Johannesburg, because of its gold mining roots, is here in the middle of nowhere, and the nearest river is the Vaal River on the Orange River system, and it's nearly 100 kilometers from us. So luckily, Johannesburg could only have been found in the mechanical age, which it did. But anyway, the point is that as Gauteng has grown, so has our need for water. And way back in the 70s, a source of water was identified, and that was in Lesotho, with the Lesotho Water Highlands Project, where water would get piped from Lesotho all the way to the Orange River system and eventually flowing to the Vaal, and then going to the system to feed us water here. And then the cities would be so bad that you'll switch on the taps and the water wouldn't work anyway. And we waste 45% of the water due to leaks, but that's a whole different scandal. But I want to talk about this Lesotho Highlands Water Project phase 2. Listen to this. This is a beauty. This project was meant to be completed more than a decade ago, when Jacob Zuma was still the president. And for reasons that are unclear, never disclosed, the project was put on hold by our water minister, none other than that wonderful erstwhile Minister of Water, Nomvula Mokonyane, the same one who got fingered at the Zondo Commission, the same one who drives around in an Aston Martin on a civil servant salary. Yeah, anyway, the point is that when she was Minister of Water, for some reason she delayed the project. At that point, it was meant to cost 16 billion rand. 16. Big project? Fine. That was the price back in 2011 or whenever it was. In 2013. In 2022, when the project gets restarted, the price suddenly goes up to 42 billion rand. So from 16 to 42 billion rand, 26 billion rand increase. This was under the Water Ministry run by Senzo Mchunu, the man who's doing so well as Minister of Police now. Now our latest cost for this is 53 billion rand. 53 billion rand. This was a 16 billion rand project meant to be done in 2013. It's now 53 billion rand. And who is the Deputy Minister of Water and seemingly running with the project? David Mahlobo. If that name is familiar to you, he was Jacob Zuma's spy master. He was the guy who would tap everybody's phones and things like that. He was always at Jacob Zuma's right hand. He's now a deputy minister for the ANC. I kid you not. Deputy Minister of Water. And the minister is Pemi Majudina. But in any case, this thing is now 53 billion rand. Okay? From 16. And then the Minister Majudina, said, but hold my beer. This price is going to be adjusted every 6 months. And we're still no closer to completing this project. So if next time you fill up your tank and it costs you more because the fuel levy has gone up because the government needs money, understand that for a 16 billion rand project, we are now paying at best 53 billion rand. That's 37 billion rand more. I would say to the finance minister, if you're struggling to balance your budget, go and have a look at wastage and theft like this at the Lesotho Highlands Water Project, Phase 2. Pretty easy to find. I did it in 5 minutes. I'm sure if you're a whole Minister of Finance, you could do it much easier than I did. That's all for today. We'll see you again on the Political Insider.